Good evening, welcome to church this morning. How are you all? Have you had a good morning so far? That's excellent. Well, let me get better, right? And listen, take the opportunity right now to say hello to someone. Shake them by the hand if you must. Give them a hug if you feel it. Give them a holding.
where you can take this out if you need to communicate anything to the church office. This is the time you can fill it in with any praise or prayer points, any requests for any information. If you want to be in a connect group, want to get baptised, this is the card you need to fill in. As you know, Pastor Leslie, our small group pastor, is away, and when he's returning, he is currently organising the Term 1 campaign, which is called Emotionally Healthy Spirituality, EHS for short. There are several resources that you will require to do this, and to get the most out of this campaign, you need to be in a connect group. So if you want to order it in the resources or be in a connect group, you can order your resources at the info desk or fill in a care card for a connect group information. Meanwhile, while you're filling in your care cards, there'll be church news on the screen behind me, starting with a promotional clip for EHS.
There are 4 commitments I'm asking you to make for the next 8 weeks. First, to attend and hear all 8 messages by your pastor during this Begin the Journey into Emotionally Healthy Spirituality initiative. Second, to participate in a small group or Sunday school class during this time. This will give you time to talk through the practical integration of the material into your personal life. Third, to read the corresponding chapters from the book, Emotionally Healthy Spirituality, during the next 8 weeks. And fourth, to begin pausing twice a day, 5 days a week, to be with God in the daily office. You're about to launch into a very exciting 8 weeks. I bless you for your courage to step out of the boat and tackle some very challenging biblical themes. Themes we don't often address in our everyday discipleship. May God grant you grace and courage.
Church, if you'd like to take out your tithes and your offerings, grab your care cards to it, stand. I'd just like to pray. Father God, we know that every week as we come here to worship you, we can expect great things from you. And Father, right now, we just want to give back something that you have given to us. Father, just use this gift as we give to you to glorify your kingdom, to build hope and future into this community. Amen. Church, the offering buckets will come around as we sing, so you can pop your tithes, your offerings and your care cards in there.
If all our faith should crumble and fall away, and all I know should be taken away, yet I will trust and praise your name. I come to your cross, humble and amazed that the Son of God should take my place and die for me, and take my blame. Let your love let it flow. May your love wash over my soul. Let me hide in you, like a child safe in the arms of
So how many of you here this morning are in the New Year resolutions? Just raise your hand. How many are not? I'll let you go first. Here we go. How many of you who are into it have actually set some and already blown them? See, the interesting thing is, whether you believe in New Year's resolutions or not, is neither here nor there to me. But you can't deny this. It's always good sometimes to put a chapter of your life behind you and start again. How many of you relate to that? Fantastic. So we're all here for one reason this morning. We're here to actually hear from God. Is this true or true? Fantastic. So let's just invite God to be with us this morning and speak into our hearts. Father God, we just thank you that you are our God. We thank you that by your mercy and grace you chose us to be your people. And we thank you that it is not for any other reason that you've chosen each one of us to be here this morning. We're here this morning because we're meant to be here. We're here because it's your purpose that we turn up. We're here to hear from you. And I just pray, Lord, that hearts would be softened, that ears would be open, that minds would be ready to hear what you have to say this morning. And I just thank you that you chose me this morning to speak for these people. In Jesus' name, amen. Now, some of you don't know who I am, so let me introduce myself. My name is Gavin Bassett. I am the pastor's son, one of 3 sons anyway. And the reason I get to speak in front of you this morning is not because I'm a pastor, far from it. In fact, I am a business coach. And so what I do is I actually work with businesses and help them improve their businesses. And I do what I'm doing right here quite often. I actually speak to business owners all the time in big groups like this. And so I'm very comfortable on the stage. Now, where do I get my biblical stuff that I can actually teach you? I've been fortunate for the last 36 years. I've been sitting under a great man who is my father and your pastor. And I've actually listened and taken on board some of this stuff. Good or good? Yeah. Some of it I didn't do so well with, but hey, God's still working on it. So that's a little bit about me. Now I've got this little flip chart here this morning. I like to use this a lot. Is that okay? Now, whenever I'm working with people, and that's what I feel I'm doing this morning, is working with you, I just have a couple of rules. Just 2. How many? 2. First rule is don't believe anything I say. It's true, because all I can talk from is my experience. And for you, you need to go back and check out the word just to see if whatever I'm talking about is actually in fact true for you. Make sense? Alright, so never believe anything anyone has to say from any pulpit anywhere. It's just their what? Experience. You always must go and check it out. Never be so gullible and just take whatever someone says. Is that fair? Fantastic. Right, I have another rule. In fact, let me put it this way. Has anyone ever made a mistake? Anyone not? Just a perfect person. See, at school, if I made enough mistakes, they called me this. What they call me? A failure. And see, after a while, I learned that if I made mistakes, I was a... And so I learned that it's better not to actually put it out there. That way I can't be called a... But see, this is altogether wrong. Because many of you know that it's through making mistakes you gain your greatest lessons. The bigger the mistake, the greater the what? And see, it's interesting, we've actually been away for 3 days down in Bunbury, celebrating my birthday, which was fantastic, been 42 on Friday. And we were at this, I don't know what it was like a cattle farm. And there's an electrified fence. And probably about 6 months ago or something like that, my wife had been to this same place and my 10-year-old son had been there too. And the first thing he said when he got out of the car was, I'm not going near that fence. I said, why not? He said, I was here last time, I touched it. And see, it was a mistake to touch it, but he learned that, hey, you don't touch the fence. That's given me a whole bunch of new ideas for parenting, but that's a whole other course. Alright, so let's get back to here. See, there's only one failure. So if you just help me this, only one failure is a failure to do what? So this is my second rule, that you participate only at 100%. Would that be okay? That didn't sound okay. Would it be okay if you participate at 100%?
Yes.
Now, there's a reason for this. See, in the game I'm in, I participate in this thing called accelerated learning. And in accelerated learning, the whole game is that I use lots of different colours. Can you see that? And I get you to call out the answers. And I get you to... And the reason I get you to do this is so that it actually gets into your head, and so during the week you'll remember what happened. Because how many of you know that you come into church or anywhere, but you come into church, you're drifting through the week, and you can't even remember what you learned last Sunday? Who knows this to be true? Some of you can't even remember what happened this morning. I know what happened this morning. My legs are very sore. My brother and I participated in a triathlon. So I've got jelly legs at the moment, but that's all right. But see, the thing is, if we don't get it stuck in us, it's almost like we repel it. It's like water off a duck's back. Who's heard of that saying? And so, if we participate, it's going to get in here. If it gets in here, you can do something with it. Because if you're going to come to church, or if you're going to go anywhere and spend 1 or 2 hours actually learning something, would it be better that you actually took it away with you, practically, and could do something all the time with it? Yes or yes? Yes. I knew that would be the answer. Fantastic. Okay, so they're my simple rules. We're good with that? Excellent. All right. Now, there's a great philosopher about modern time, E. James Rowan. Anyone heard of him? A few of you, a few more of you need to hear him. And he had this to say: the same wind blows on us all. Though it's not about the wind, it's about the setting of the sails. The setting of the what? Sails. The sails. It's the setting of the sails. See, it's not about whether you had more wind or someone had less wind, it's what you did with the wind. And see, here's the interesting thing. We've just moved into a new year. And some of you are in the New Year's resolutions, which that's fine. And some of you aren't, and that's fine. But I'm going to put it to you this way. Each of us have been given 365 days. As I look at my watch, you've just lost 9 of them. Yes? So we don't have 365 anymore. Now, this is like a bunch of wind. What are you going to do with your 365 days? What will you do with it? See, some of you have been living the same experience year in, year out. I could have photocopied the first year of your life and just handed it to you and said, here you go, good luck. Just have it again, and again, and again. I made a movie about this called Groundhog Day, yes? Some of you are having Groundhog Year. I'll put it to you this way. What if this year was your year? Who would like that to be the case? Yes. Say me? Yes. Fantastic. See, for some of you, you'll marvel at the opportunities that came your way this year. And for others of you, you're going to be very disappointed those opportunities didn't come your way. The same wind blows on us. Some will become richer, some will become poorer. Some will create legacies this year, and some will create regret. I don't know about you, but I've got enough regret in my life. I don't need another year of regret. Yeah? Who wants to create one of legacy? One you can look back on and go, hey, that was a pinnacle year. Who wants one of them? Fantastic. Some will talk about doing something this year, and others will just go and do it. Some will wish things were easier, and others will work harder on getting better, therefore things will get easier. Some will overcome fear, and some of you are going to let your fear hold you back. Fear is a snare. It'll trap you. See, some of you don't do stuff in your life because you're scared about what will happen. The only failure is the failure too. Because if you have a go, you'll at least learn that either you don't do it like that again, or you do it differently, or you might learn, that was fantastic, I'm going to do it, eh? Does this make sense? But see, don't let fear hold you back. If you let fear hold you back, you'll be stuck in your tracks. You'll be stuck in a rut. Do you know what a rut is? A rut is a grave with the ends kicked out. You're going nowhere. So don't get caught in a rut. Hey, how many of you are interested in statistics, just out of curiosity? Not enough of you. I love statistics. I love them. Because here's the thing about statistics. Statistics will actually give you a bit of understanding of what happened. And therefore they'll give you a bit of understanding of what could happen next. Yes or yes? Yes. Very good. See, statistics, what they do is they give you a pattern. And the Harvard University, they did a study some time back on a particular year of their students. I can't remember exactly when it was. And they followed up these students about 10 years after they graduated. And this is what they discovered. They discovered 3 things. How many things? 3. Alright, so here's one thing they discovered. What's the first thing they discovered? 70% had no goals. Harvard graduates. Isn't that interesting? Here's the next thing they discovered. What did they discover? They had verbal goals, so they went around telling everybody what they were going to achieve in life. How many people know people like that? They're tellers. Some of them are doers, some of them are gunners. Here's the last thing they discovered. What was it? 3% had clear written goals. Now, not only did they have written goals, but they reviewed those goals and reset them regularly, at least once a year, sometimes a little more. Then the next thing they did is they added up the net worth of all these students. And this is what they discovered. 98% of the wealth was owned by the... That means the other 2% was owned by these people down here who never wrote their goals down. We're heading into a new year. The title of today is called Setting Your Sails for 2011. What I'm going to put to you is it's a good idea to set some goals. Now the reason being is if you're going to sail somewhere, you need to know where you're going. Because if you don't know where you're going, you're going to get there really fast. Yes? Going on a trip to nowhere. Who's ever been on a trip to nowhere? It's not pleasant, is it? So, key question for some of you. How many of you are going to write goals down? How many aren't? Thanks for your honesty. It's good to be honest. Honesty is a great base. See, we need to set goals so that we've got a plan. Because if you've got no plan, where exactly is it you're going? Nowhere. And if you play around with those words a little bit, it means you're now here. If you're going nowhere. You can play around with it now. Alright. Now, whether you agree or not that you should set goals, the the fact of the matter is, there are universal laws at play. What's the laws? Universal. Because we live in a universe. And so therefore there must be laws or rules. So I just want to have a look at a couple. The first law is the law of gravity. And what does the law of gravity say? If I let go of this, what's going to happen? Let's just try it to see if it's true. So whether you believe in that law or not, guess what? It still happens. You don't have to believe in universal law, but it still happens. True? You don't have to believe in setting goals, but guess what? It still happens. Another law of the vacuum. Law of the vacuum says that nature abhors space. And so for all you blokes in the room, you've gone into your shed out the back, you've cleaned your bench and you've gone, beauty, look at this, I've got some space. 2 weeks later, what's the story? The bench has disappeared under a deluge of stuff. Yes? And for you ladies, you've cleaned up your sewing room or craft room and you're thinking, you beauty, I can invite the ladies around. And you do that, but after they've gone, guess what? Where's your space gone? It's a complete what? Mess. See, because the law of vacuum says nature abhors space, it doesn't like it. And so you need to create space. A great way of creating space is setting goals. Setting goals for something you've never done before, you create space. Because nature abhors space, it helps you live into that space. Does this make sense? I know this to be true. I teach this all the time. Have done for the last 10 years. And it works. Okay, another one. Law of focus. Law of focus says what you focus in on expands. Good or bad? See, if you focus on worrying about something, what happens? You get more worried. And you worry yourself sick. Now, let's just say that you focus on something, being a whole, you're trying to be super positive about something. What happens? You get more confident, and therefore you go after it. See, what you focus in on, you get more of. So if it's worry, you're going to get more of that. If it's confidence, you're going to get more of that. If it's negativity, you'll get more of that. If it's positivity, you'll get more of that. Does this make sense? Excellent. All right, another law. Law of attraction. Who's heard of that one? Probably one of the most popular laws. Law of attraction says you'll attract into your life wanted and unwanted things by giving them attention. Giving them what? Attention. So you give something attention and you're going to get it. Wanted or not. And so, there's a guy, he's working in the city and he's thinking to himself, boy, I really hope the traffic's not too thick tonight. Guess what? See, the attention he gave was the traffic being thick, because the universe doesn't hear, don't, not, and no. And so he says, I hope the traffic is not thick. It doesn't hear not, it just hears, I hope the traffic's thick tonight. And he gets his wish. And he goes, bugger, how did that happen? Yeah, he did it, he created it. Someone says, I really hope I'm going to have a great night's sleep. What's the attention? Great night's sleep. What are you going to get? Great night's sleep. Unless you have a baby. But see, the point is, whatever you're giving attention to, that's what you're going to attract. Good or bad. It's like the gravity thing. You don't have to believe it, but it's true. Every time I do it, I'm going to get the same result. Yes or yes? Yes. Every time that you put your attention on something, that's what's going to happen. Now, I'm going to mess with your minds just a little bit. In 2006, the Mighty Eagles were in the grand final. And me and my brother, I think we scored the baggers tickets that year, which was fantastic. And we went across, and we went from our hotel to the MCG. And I said to my brother, on the way to the MCG, we're going to get every green little man traffic light. He said, really? And we walked all the way there, and guess what? Everyone was green. Why? That was my attention. Now my attention was obviously higher than anyone else who wanted it. I wanted that green man to the back. So I thought, I'm going to push my luck here. The Eagles are going to win today. So I'm just sitting there. I was the calmest spectator in the joint. And my brother's going, well, you're really relaxed today. The lady next to me, she's getting all worked up. She says, what's wrong with you? They could lose. And I said, we win today, love. How do you know? I said, you'll see. There you go. So they'll mess with somebody else. All right, back to this message, brother. See, there's universal laws because God created the universe. And He set it up that way. Which is what it is. So if you believe in the universe and you believe in universal laws, you'd want to believe that someone actually set it up that way, and that God was God. Yes?
Yes.
Good. On the same page. That's fantastic. So, if He's made universal laws which are designed to either help you or guide you, would it make sense to use them?
Yes.
And so, if we look at setting goals and getting the most out of 2011, guess what? Law of focus. If you've got a goal, you've got something to focus in on. Law of attraction, something you put attention into. Law of vacuum, create a space. You're going, how's he going to weave in the law of gravity? See, here's the interesting thing. The more mass you give your goal, the heavier it is, the quicker it's going to work towards you. Now, how would you do that? Well, look, I'm not really here to talk about this today, but what you do is, whatever your goals are for this year, find pictures of them, cut them out, put them on a big chart and look at them every day. That'll create mass. That's a whole other course. You can do that some other time. Now, what does the Bible really have to say about setting goals? Anyone interested? Yes. All right, here we go. So let's give some context. So the thing I really want to look at here is 4 people. How many? 4. Good. So we've got Moses, and we've got Joshua, and we've got Jesus, who you might have heard of, and we've got Peter. Alright, so they're the 4 dudes we're going to look at. And see, in all of these settings, this is God's statement. He said, if you move, I'll move. If you don't move, I won't move. And one of them complained about it, and he said, I don't like this. And God said, well, when you get your own planet, you can make up your own rules. Yes? But while you're here, stick to my rules. If you don't move, I don't move. Now, how do I know this to be true? Well, let's have a look at Moses. Here's Moses. He's got the Egyptians on his tail, and he's got a big ocean in front of him, and the people are complaining and whinging, and then Moses is kind of like getting in a bit of a, tailspin, and God says to him, he says this, then the Lord said to Moses, why are you crying out to me? Command the Israelites to start doing what? Moving. Because if you will move, I will move. Raise your walking stick, hold it over the sea, so that the sea will split and the people can cross on the dry land. Now, God's given a very clear instruction. Could it be that Moses thought, no, that's not it? He could have, yes? And what would have happened? Well, pretty much, I think the Bible would have stopped about there. It might not happen. Right, next bit on. 21 to 22 says, then Moses held his hand over the sea. All that night the Lord drove back the sea with a strong east wind, making the sea become dry ground. The water was split. The Israelites went through the sea on dry land with the water on their right and on their left. Why? Because he raised his stick. He moved, so God moved. If he hadn't put that stick out, guess what? God wasn't going to do anything with that water. Now Moses could have come up with a better plan and say, you know what, I'd rather take these people through the sand dune over here. What would have happened? Nothing, because he wasn't doing what God wanted him to do. So there's a bit of duality going on here, right? I mean, number one, you have to move, but number two, you have to do what God wants. Okay, so then we've got Joshua. Now the story of Joshua is that God said, I'm going to give you the city of Jericho. But I want you to do something really crazy first. And Joshua said, well, what would that be? He said, I want you to march around it 7 times. Oh, okay. So, day 1, march around it, then go back to your camp. Don't let out any cries. Just march around it. Day 2, do the same. Day 3, do the same. Day 4, do the same. Day 5, do the same. Day 6, do the same. Day 7, march around it 7 times. Last time round, give a big war cry. and I'm going to collapse the whole city and it'll be yours. Now, what if Joshua was a bit of an impatient man? Thought, you know what? How many times he wants me to do what? 13 times. I'm just going to do that day one. What would have happened? Nothing. See, you've got to move according to what God wants you to move with, yes? And because he did, God did exactly what he said. True or true? True. But he had to do it. He had to move. If he had just stayed in his camp and said, listen, God, you're pretty powerful. Why don't you just, just give it a flick. Give it a whack. Because God could do that, couldn't he? You see, God likes to use us. Crazy as it may sound. I think it's crazy at times. Do you? He'd use me. He'd use you. He does. He likes to. Now, Jesus rising from the dead. We find this in John 19, 10 to 18. We find it in John 20, 19 to 20. See, here's the thing. Jesus has been handed over to the authorities of the day. Now, could Jesus have gone, I'm not really liking this plan anymore. I might just call down a legion of angels and whack. Could he do that? He had the power, yes. Could have done it. Didn't. Why? Because it wasn't the plan. The plan was that he was going to die on that cross. And so because he moved into dying on that cross, he was able to be raised from the dead on the third day. Yes? Raised from the dead on the third day because he moved. He moved, so God moved. Do you get the theme here? If you move according to God's plan, he'll move and everything's all good. A few arrows here and there, a few holes perhaps, but it's all good. Yes? Brilliant. Alright, so the last guy is Peter. This is a pretty cool one. This is in Matthew 14, 28 to 29. And it says, Peter said, Jesus is standing out in the water, and Peter says, Lord, if it is really you, then command me to come out of the water. So Jesus says, come. And Peter left the boat and walked on the water to Jesus. Now, if he hadn't got out of the boat, he wouldn't have walked on the water. True? But because he moved, God was able to do a miracle. Now, how many people do you know that walk on water? There you go, Jesus. They're in fine company. But the point is that if you don't move, God doesn't move. But you would have also noticed that God had a plan for each one of those people, yes? So it wasn't just them doing their own thing, just hold the stick out willy-nilly and just bang, the river chops itself in half. It was part of God's plan. And the cool thing is, God has a plan for... Everyone say me? Me. Now, here's the thing. Some of you don't know that God has a plan for you yet because you haven't asked Him. Is this true? And some of you don't know because you didn't listen. Yes? And some of you didn't know about it because you might not know God yet. How many people know someone like that? That God's got a mighty plan for them, they just don't know it yet. How many know that I might have seen that person in the mirror this morning? See, the cool thing is, I'm like a hired gun. I can come in here and say all kinds of zany things and I can just ride off into the sunset. I can get in your face and push your buttons a little bit. And I know that I do this probably just about every time because I get feedback that I've offended someone with something that I said. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I wear that quite comfortably. I remember being in a Hillsong meeting from about 15 years ago, and Pastor, what's his name, Pastor Casey Treat got up. And he said, my intention today is to offend you, and if I don't personally offend you, or if I don't offend you during the sermon, come up to me later and I'll personally offend you. Now, see, the thing is, to actually get under someone's heckles is a good thing, because now they're thinking. Right? Your choice now is to do something with that when you get confronted. See, some of you need to talk to God a little bit more and just say, hey, God, what is your plan? What exactly is your plan for me? What is it? Because He's got one for you. But if you don't move, He don't move. If you don't ask, He's not going to tell you. You've got to ask, yes? Yes. Good. Glad we got that one out. Now, see, here's the thing. Here's a young bloke called Jeremiah. And he's kind of, guiding the Israelite people in troubled times. They're in captivity in Babylon. And, you know, this guy went through a whole bunch of nasty things that none of you ever want to go through as he led these people. But see, God was quite often with Jeremiah. Now, there was 2 reasons he was with Jeremiah on a regular basis. How many reasons? Would you like to know why they were? That's cool. 2 real simple reasons. Reason number 1. Jeremiah used to ask God. Stuff all the time. Technical word, I know, stuff. But he asked him all the time. But the next thing that he did after he asked, he did this. What did he do? Listen. There's no point asking if you don't listen, yes? He asked and he listened. He asked and he listened. And because he asked and he listened, this is what God had to say to him. In Jeremiah 29:11, he said, I say this because I know what I am planning for you. And this is not just for Jeremiah, this is for the Israelite people. I know what I'm planning for you, says the Lord. I have good plans for you. Not plans to hurt you. I'll give you a hope and a future. Then you'll call my name. You'll come to me and pray. I will listen to you. You'll search for me. And when you search for me with all your heart, you will do what? Find me. Is that up there? It's not there. We've got no words. Fantastic. No, I mean that sincerely. I've got to say, something that irritates me, if I can just say that, is that we put the words up there. Because we stop reading this. Now I've said it. There you go. I'll probably get in trouble by the chief. There we go. Now, how many of you could do these 2 things? Ask and listen. How many will? We'll see. We'll see. See, if you're daring to ask, you're going to be daring to listen. And if you're daring to listen, see, that's the easy bit. The hard bit is when he actually tells you what he wants to do, and you go, yeah, sure, that's for me. I must have been listening to someone else's thing. Who knows what I'm talking about? Yeah, sometimes we don't like hearing what he has to say to us. Now, God has a plan for us. We need to move with his plan. But see, the other thing he asks us to do is to make up our mind. Make up our what? Our mind. And see, the Proverbs tells us this. It says, people may make plans in their minds, but only the Lord can make them come what? True. You may believe you're doing right, but the Lord will judge your reasons. Depend on the Lord in whatever you do, and your plans will succeed. People may make plans in their mind, but the Lord decides what they will do. Remember Moses? God actually said, here's the deal, son. Whack your stick over top of this water, and I'll do this. Follow that plan. It's a good plan. It'll work. If you don't follow that plan, it'll be a bad thing that you do, and it won't work. Because we know of other stories about Moses where he kind of didn't do exactly what God said, yes? One where he was supposed to tap the rock, and he bludgeoned the rock. Right? That wasn't the plan. It wasn't the plan to bludgeon the rock. Right? So he missed out on the promised land. So the Bible says, make up your minds and the Lord will make things come true. Now, there's only one reason that you should have a plan. It's a very simple reason. And this is what it is. What is it? That's the only reason you have a plan, is to help you fulfill your goals. There's no other reason. No reason at all, other than to help you fulfill your goals. So if you're not going to write any goals, you actually don't need a plan. So if you want the easy life, don't have any goals. but you'll have a life filled with regret. Your choice. True or true? You know, the interesting thing about life has two pains. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. It's that simple. You can discipline yourself to go and do the stuff, or you can regret that you never did it. Both of them are painful, and equally painful. Yes? Okay. So, there's a catch with making this plan. There's always a catch, isn't there? Now, the catch with this plan is that your plan has to be the right plan. And the right plan has to be God's plan for you. How many of you have been caught out doing your own thing? How many know people have been caught out doing their own thing? Does that ever work? No, didn't think so. Tried it so many times, it doesn't work for me either. But see, here's the thing about Jeremiah. He asked, he listened, and he did. He did. See, the thing is that he took, let's just go back. He asked, he listened, and he took, what did he take? He took actions. Action. Action means that he was doing what? Moving. He was moving. And because he moved, God moved. See how it works? Ask, listen, take, action. See, there's no point in asking and listening and then doing nothing. You've got to understand that. You might as well not have asked. Right? You're better off just being ignorant. Right? But if you're going to ask and you're going to listen, you've got to act. You've got to act. You've got to do what? Act. You've got to move. Now, it does get a little bit more tricky. Everyone say, oh no. Oh no. See, here's the thing. See, God gave you one life. How many lives? One. He gave you a life to live it right. My brother wrote a song about that. It's really good. There's a CD about it too, right? One life to live it right. And see, I think God wants you to have goals for your life. I think He wants you to have big goals. Big, hairy, audacious goals. He wants you to do something significant. Otherwise, why would He have created you? I don't think our God, our great Creator, creates people just to take up space. Does He? No. And so some of us need to just dream a little more, ask a little more, listen a little more, act a little more. Yes? And some of you are a little bit scared now. I can see it on your face, right? A little bit of fear. But see, this is your year. Let's not do fear, because fear brings regret. Let's act in spite of fear. Yes? Can we do that? Brilliant. Some of you are getting less convinced as I go on. It's true. I can see it. I'm trained to read people's faces. I can read your faces. See, some of you are very uncomfortable with what's going on here. And the cool thing is, I'm loving that. Alright. But the point is, you've got to make up your mind. You've got to make up your mind. You're going to do something, you're going to do nothing. Don't bother me. It's up to you. Who's it up to? Everyone say me? Me. Alright. Just get you out of comfort zone a little bit more. Turn and tell your partner, I plan to make a move this year. See, not one of you wants to have that 1 year of experience, another 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 40 years, 50 years. Is this true? You want to have more, yes? You want to be more? Want to do more? But see, God really puts it real simple. He says, make a choice. Make a choice. And you know the good thing about this? Is everybody gets to make a choice. Only all of the time. Only all of the time. And see, some of you don't like that sometimes, that you have to make choices. How many of you, hate making choices? Yeah, you made your Some of us aren't real good at making choices, yes? And some of us, like me, need to sometimes slow down with our choices, yes? So we need a good partner who's a bit slow to make choices. Balance it out, balance it out. It's a good thing. But see, what choices should we make? Well, Ecclesiastes 3, 9 to 15 says this. Do people really gain anything from their work? I saw the hard work God has given people to do. God has given them a desire to know the future. He does everything just right and on time, but people can never completely understand what He is doing. So I realised that the best thing for them is to be happy and enjoy themselves as long as they live. Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. God wants all people to eat and drink and be happy in their work, which are the gifts of God. I know that everything God does will continue forever. People cannot add anything to what God has done. They cannot take anything away from it. God does this. God does it this way to make people respect Him. What happens now has happened in the past. What happens in the future has happened before. God has made things happen again and again. 1 John 2 says, we can be sure that we know God if we obey His commands. Do what with His commands? Obey. Anyone who says, I know God, but does not obey God's command is a liar, and the truth is not in that person. But if someone obeys God's teaching, then in that person, God's love has truly reached its goal. And this is how we can be sure we're living in God. Whoever says that he lives in God must live as Jesus lived. A couple more verses here. 2 Corinthians 5:9. Our only goal is to please God. Whether we live here or there, because we must all stand before Christ to be judged. Each of us will receive what we should get, good or bad, for the things we did in this earthly body. 1 Corinthians 9:24. You know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize. So run to win. All those who compete in the game choose self-control so they can win a crown. That crown is an earthly thing that lasts only a short time, but our crown will never be destroyed. So I do not run without a goal. Key clue, doesn't run without a goal. What's he talking about? He's talking about running the race of life, yes? I fight like a boxer who is hitting something, not just the air. I treat my body hard and make it my slave, so that I myself will not be disqualified after I preach to others. So, there's some choice words in there. First word is this. You get to choose this. To be... What's the word? Happy. Say it like you mean it. Happy. Good. You get to choose this. To do what with your life? Enjoy it. How many of you like to enjoy your life a little bit more? Just choose it. Could it be that simple? I'm telling you it is. It's that simple. It really is. Now, here's the hard bit. It's hard for me anyway. We need to choose to obey. Is that a hard one? Who's with me? That's the hardest one, yes? Alright, 2 more. We need to choose to please who? God. Last one. What's that word? Discipline. We must choose what? Discipline. Discipline. We must beat our body to make it do what we want it to do. Discipline. Remember there was 2 pains. Pain of discipline or pain of what? This one will give you more rewarding fruits than regret. Regret just goes on and on and on and on. Who knows what I'm talking about? Yes? But see, the pain of discipline, I go through the pain of discipline to do it, and then the outcome is what? Something good. But if I didn't do the pain of discipline, then I've got the pain of regret, which goes on. There you go. So how many of you want the most out of 2011? How many couldn't care? I didn't think there'd be anyone left. Yes, fantastic. But see, you've got to seek God's word. You've got to ask, listen, and act. Set a plan, follow it, use the universal laws. They're there. Whether you like them or not, they're there. They're happening every day. And you're actually using them whether you think you're using them or not. So you might as well master them. And that way you can make a massive difference to your life and the life around you, because you've been called to be light and salt of this world. Did you know that? But you can only do that if you play big. Because if you're a little light, hidden under a bushel, what good? What good is that? Is that any good? No. But if you're a loud light, a big light, a flashlight, what would happen? You can make a difference. Now I know that's not in everybody's nature to be out there. I mean, on stage I'm very out there. Off stage I'm not so. And some of you probably noticed that. I mean, I'm actually an introvert. I know it's hard for some of you to believe. I don't have a yearn for people's company for whatever reason. I just don't. But I do. Yes, I do. But I can be large as life on here because I'm doing. When I'm on stage, whether it be here or with business people, I'm doing what I was called to do. And so I'm living at large as I can. I'm giving it everything I've got. Whether it offends people or not, I'm just giving it. And what I'm calling you to do is to do the same. Well, you don't have to be on stage. Be on the stage of life, yes? See, here's the thing. William Arthur Ward said, the pessimist complains about the wind, the optimist expects it to change. The realist adjusts the sails. So I'm not calling you to be optimistic or pessimistic, I'm calling you to be real. Because when you're real, you can adjust the sails to the direction you need to go. Because how quickly can you change direction? It's just a choice. Just like that. Who knows this to be true? Fantastic. And so I just want to pray for you as we go into this week. To me, this should be the biggest week of your life to set up 2011 like a year you have never had before. Who's with me? Say yes. Yes. Fantastic. Father God, I just pray that some of this that we spoke about this morning would stick. That it would stay. That people would have listened. That people will act. I just pray that people would be in for the ride of their life this year. And that they would include you in their goals, in their plans, in their actions. So that your name may be glorified, Father God. That the light would shine and that people in this region would be influenced for Jesus. And that this church would be filled to overflowing, Father God, as we become all that you want us to become. In Jesus' powerful name. Now, for some of you, if you've been touched in any way, shape or form, or offended, please come forward this morning. Share it with someone. And if the fear's got you, do it in spite of the fear. Just come forward. Just do it for your own sake. Now, if you can't do it, we do have a corner over there called Prayer Corner, where you can sort of do it after people turn their back and start moving that way and go that way. But I would say face the fear. Do it. Come forward. Declare that this is going to be your year because you can. Make that choice.
My
set goals, you're going to listen to God, you need a buddy to share it with, a buddy to keep you accountable, to actually do something with those goals, do something with that plan. You do that through your connect groups, you can do it through the friendships you've got. But if you want to live a powerful life, you need accountability. Folks, there's going to be coffee and tea out there in the coffee shop around the back. Encourage you to get around there, and why not start the process today? Find a friend who will be that unreasonable friend